Hey, so accounting, business, and management salary, like how much can you make from owning your own accounting or bookkeeping business? So, disclaimer, the numbers I'm going to tell you today are not necessarily a guarantee of what you can. I don't know who you are. I've never spoken to you in most cases, right? This is just the numbers I've experienced and I've seen from other students who I've taught inside of our mentorship program. So, I'm not necessarily promising that you can do this too. I'm just saying what I've seen and what makes it easier to go and reach income goals. So, number one, your ability to go and really determine how much money you can make was really based on your current salary. Also, before I go further, if you want some help growing your business, like maybe you've been trying to grow your business, but you just don't understand your pricing, you don't understand how to market to get clients, you don't understand really how to do consultation calls to get them to say yes, go ahead and click on the link inside the description, either above or below the video, to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside of our program. So, the amount of money you make in a lot of cases in the short term is based on your current salary and needs. Most people rise back to whatever their current standard of living is based on homeostasis. Homeostasis is just like your body and your mind's way of trying to keep things as normalized as possible, right? This is also the reason why it's hard to get above a certain level, but it generally is going to prevent you from dipping too deeply. So oftentimes what happens is, let's say someone loses their job, they basically go into the state of not necessarily panic, but just awareness, where it's I need to do this, I need to go, and they have an extra sense of motivation. This is not everyone. This is kind of like a fight or flight response, right? Some people, when it comes to fight or flight, they will fight or they'll freeze, right? There's fight, flight, freeze. Some people freeze, do nothing, and that's where they kind of get they need a couple years to recover. Some people, they run away from it and they just go and they do everything in their power to just avoid the situation until they absolutely can't. Some people have to fight, right? And it's okay, we gotta go in attack mode, right? So most people are gonna get back up to whatever income level it was, whether they have to go and put out 1 million job applications, or they have to go and start a business, or they go and do Uber. It doesn't really matter. I've seen people making $7-8 grand a month doing Uber, right? I've seen that. I didn't know that was possible before I started when I started my mentorship program. I started hearing the stories of different people, what they were doing to make money, if in case they had lost their job or just a second job. I was you can make $7,000 a month doing just Uber and DoorDash. That was crazy. I didn't know that, right? So excuse me. But your body basically gets you back to that, right? So oftentimes what I see is whatever you're making in corporate America is kind of that zone with which people are going to get towards and be comfortable. Now, it might not take a month. Let's say you're making 120 a year. It might not take a month to get you back to 10K, but you naturally keep going back up to that point. And now, the challenge most people have is once you kind of get back to that comfort zone, a lot of people have trouble really pushing past the comfort zone. And it's not that you can't, right? Skill-wise, client-wise, you can keep going, but a lot of people kind of lose that motivation to keep going, right? So you have to kind of play different tricks in order to make sure you keep growing. One trick I have is I always empty out my bank account to whatever number is kind of my awareness number, right? So at all times, everything that I have and I make, it either goes into an investment, it goes into an ad campaign, or it goes into an IRA that I just can't access, or I just can't have access to, or if I'm over the contribution limit for the year, which happens pretty often, pretty quickly, probably by the end of January, I pretty much maxed out the one IRA that I have. So I end up having to go put it in another account that I kind of treat I can't pull it out of, right? So it's just not an option. So I have to keep moving forward and I have to keep attacking. And whenever I exceed that in my regular bank account, I start noticing myself that I start getting really sophisticated. Oh, I don't need to talk to people on the call. Oh, if this person comes on and says anything I don't like, you're done. And I kind of get very bougie, right, when I have too much money in my account. So as soon as I remove that, it's okay, I'll talk to any person, I don't care, let's go and see if we can get some more money coming in, etc., etc., etc. And that's how you're able to keep growing, keep transition. I learned that from a guy named Grant Cardone, right? He always used to talk about go broke. I didn't know what he meant by that, but that's just kind of what I've noticed. And one other thing too is it's generally, in terms of this business, it's generally the easiest for people that are making between $60,000 to about $90,000 per year. And it's easier for them to find success in a bookkeeping or even an accounting business for a couple different reasons. Number one, it's because of the type of mentality and mind frame the person is at their current job, right? So oftentimes, like in that 60, 70, $80,000 range, you're still doing a lot of stuff. You're not necessarily, you might be strategic, I'm not saying you're not, but it's like you're not doing as much strategic work as someone who's maybe like a director of finance, CFO, controller in some cases, depending on the size of the company, right? I've found that like people who are controllers, director of finance, CFO, they tend to have a harder time getting the business started in the beginning because they have to kind of make a shift to thinking about starting over. When you start a business, you're starting over to a certain degree. Now, starting over does not mean it's hard or anything. It's just if you're already used to doing a lot of work in your job, because you're still not that strategic level, you're just doing. When you start your business, you're used to doing. So you're gonna keep doing. Versus if you're used to being in a strategic role, you're used to thinking. So when you come here, you're not gonna think your way into starting your business correctly. You're just gonna cause a lot of procrastination until you can make that switch and get that beginner thing going again, right? A good example is one of our students, Paul. So he actually got to about $11,200. It took him about 65-ish days to do so. Actually, a little bit less. He actually reminds me of another student. They're very, very similar. But this Paul got to about $11,000. Now, when he was in corporate, he was making about $6,500 a month, right? And like for him, that was like the perfect sweet spot. 'Cause as soon as he got in the business, he just started working. And again, it's not like it's hard work, and it's not like you have to do 1,000,000 hours of it. It's just you gotta be consistent. You gotta be almost like grinding to a certain degree, right? But it didn't really take him that much because he was just used to doing stuff on a consistent basis. It's just life. That's just what he does, and it just worked really, really easily for him. Okay. Next thing is going to be the speed of your income. Okay, so it's not necessarily how much money you make. It's also about determining how fast you need to make money to cover your bills, right? Because what my belief is, and just what I've seen from mentoring over, I think it's over 325 people so far. Speed of income is important because it keeps you in the game. Size of income is good because it allows you to be able to build your life towards your specifications. So we're first going to talk about speed, then we're going to talk about size, okay? So speed of income, right? This is like I call it what's called escape velocity. That is the amount of income and just speed it takes in order to leave your job and basically escape what's called the rat race. I call it the rat race. I've heard a lot of people coin it, so I did not coin that term, but just kind of what I've noticed. When you wake up, you got to drive for an hour, it's traffic. Sometimes it's 45 minutes, sometimes it's 30, depending. Like for me, it was a pretty long drive, about 45 minutes. Then you go into work, you work, maybe take a lunch, maybe you don't if you want to get off a little bit earlier, right? And then you come home. You basically have to drive back in traffic. You have to come home. Maybe you have children, and that makes it fun. Sometimes you don't, and you're just there, and then you have to cook dinner, watch some TV. It's not you have to watch TV. It's just your brain's so tired, or it's just ugh. And you go to sleep, you wake up, you do the exact same thing, right? And it's just oof. So the ability the speed that's needed to kind of push past that is generally whatever is your bills, right? So I like to do about 1.5x whatever your bills are before I end up saying I don't need a job again. Now the reason why, okay, it's not like this is some magic business. You just get there one time and you're just good. It's just that you don't lose a lot of clients. Right? So the 1.5 is just in case you lose 20% of your clients or whatever, right? So it's just okay, so you're still not going to be destitute. You still have money to cover the bills just in case something goes wrong, you lose 2, 3, 4, 5 clients, right? So it just gives you more of that protection. And it doesn't have to do it, but the ability to go and get that speed comes down to your ability to get a commitment on your sales consultation calls. Oftentimes, you might see some of our students, it'll be they got this much in 30 days or this much in 10 days. And it's not that they get 1,000,000 clients, right? Because if you understand our model is about getting a smaller number of clients that pay a high amount of money. So when I say high, I generally give a range between $500 to $5,000 per month per client. Now, the reason why it's important is because if you get 1, 2, or maybe even 3 clients, it's very easy to get close to 7, 8, 10 grand a month if you price things correctly. So some people say oh, it's going to take you forever to go get to $80,000 a year. It's not necessarily if you just close 2 like 3K per month like clients in your first like 2 weeks in business, okay? So that means within your first year, you can probably build to $80, $90, $100,000, right? So the thing that determines speed is not necessarily is not just the income, because the income can be very misleading, right? Because an $8,000 business can look a million different ways. You can have 8,000 clients paying you $1 a month. You can have 2 clients paying you, $4,000 a month each. You could have a bunch of cleanups. You could have, let's say you have like 8 $1,000 cleanups. A cleanup is just like when someone like has a number of months that are behind and need to be fixed, and you have to go back in and do it, right? Yeah, a million different configurations of $1,000 per month, right? So the thing that's going to determine it is the size of your clients and the price you're charging. But more importantly, it doesn't really matter what price you want to charge or what the scope of work is if you cannot get people to say yes. So that's the biggest thing. Okay, if you don't drop the ball on opportunities, you're going to rise to a pretty high income level pretty quickly. Next thing is going to be size of income. Now, size of income comes from compound effects of marketing. So where most people struggle is they're always in that hunter-gatherer mode, where in actuality, to get to 6 figures, so 9K, we'll say 11K, 15, 17, 20K, you have to move away from being a hunter to being more what's called a farmer. So what do I mean by that? So most people, what they do is they get, they maybe will go and get an Upwork account. Now on Upwork, it's you buy a credit, you go and you talk to one person. Buy a credit, you talk to one person. You buy some credits, you talk to one person. Or they go maybe on like Facebook groups. It's like you message someone, you try and talk to them. You message someone, you try and talk to them. Message, talk, right? But you're only able to do that as your time frame allows. So if you're working a full-time job, let's say you get 5 clients doing that. Well, you don't really have as much time to go hunt, right? Unless you figure out a very time-effective way, wink, wink, which we do in our program, which allows you to use automation so it doesn't have to be you doing it, right? But I always encourage people that you do both. So you do one-to-one types of marketing, which, again, one-to-one marketing isn't really marketing. It's actually called sales, like it's prospecting. But we also teach them to do one-to-many. So whether that is getting referral partners, that's maybe doing like a virtual speaking event. It's maybe doing some social media marketing, right? Now, it doesn't mean advertising. You don't have to pay for ads. Like, you can if you want to. I'm not encouraging you to pay for ads if you're below about 10 grand per month. And the reason why is because like advertising can be very expensive if you don't know what you're doing. It's very easy to lose $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 without even like getting anything in return for it. Very, very simple to lose that much money, right? So I always encourage people, like, once they're making a good amount of money, then they can do it. But one-to-many marketing is really the thing that's going to take you above that, and not just get you 10K per month, but also keep you above there and help you grow to like 15, 20K per month, right? Because it's like, excuse me. The reason why I said the compounding effects of marketing is because it actually takes time. So number one, I like doing referral partners, because referral partners allow you to be able to spend 1 hour and get 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 clients from that 1 hour potentially. Versus when you're just doing one-to-one, you're generally going to get like maybe 1, maybe 2 clients if they give you like 1 referral, right? So it's allowing you to be able to compress the time it takes to get more clients. Now, again, it will take a little more time, right? Let's say a referral partner. Let's say a referral partner sends you 7 leads, right? It could take you one lead a month over 7 months, right? So that could take time to get the full benefit of that referral partnership. So it's like in the beginning, and why we tell our students to do both the one-to-one marketing as well as the one-to-many marketing, is because this is fast, but this is forever, right? Oftentimes you see like a lot of successful firms that are over like 10 years old, they don't really do any one-to-one marketing. Everything comes in through a referral, or everything comes in through like a marketing channel, right? It's all about channels and platforms and tools, right? So I'm always thinking, what platform has my money? In some cases, a platform can be a referral partner. It could be a social media profile as well. It could be a Facebook group. It doesn't really matter. It could be a forum. It doesn't matter. But I need to think about, like, I need to know, where is my money going to be coming from? Right, that's really the difference between hunting versus farming. Is that hunting is kind of like, okay, so you're kind of going to different places to find food and hoping the food is there. Farming is I am building my own garden. I'm building my own source of food that's going to keep moving. As long as I just do a little bit of watering. It doesn't take a lot over time. As long as I consistently just water a little bit every single day, or I have my automation tool doing it, it's going to keep bearing fruit. And it bears more and more and more fruit. And I can even determine what type of fruit it bears. And that's why I like doing the one-to-many. So for example, I'll give you 2 examples of one-to-many. So one of my students named Dominique. So she got about $5,400 worth of monthly clients from one partnership. It was like an insurance agent that had previously done taxes but was getting out of the tax game. So they basically gave her $5,400 worth of client connection referrals. So basically what happened was, he's like, hey, I don't do bookkeeping. This person does monthly bookkeeping. I don't really want to work with you guys on the tax side as much anymore. So if I'm going to do one more year of taxes, if you guys sign a contract with Dominique to actually go and do some bookkeeping. So then she got $5,400 worth of bookkeeping clients from that one partnership. Now that took a grand total of 10 days to actually accomplish. Now it doesn't have to take you a long time. Like I did say, it takes time to really realize the full effects, but if that guy can give her $5,400 worth of clients in 10 days, that's not the full effects. There's still a long tail of all new people that come in from like insurance or whatever, right, that he's going to send her for monthly bookkeeping service as well. But it can happen very quickly. But she didn't spend 1,000,000 hours going one-to-one and hoping people would give her money. She talked to one person, and that person sent her all the leads that she wanted. Now, if you don't know how to do this one-to-many stuff, we do teach that in our program. We have some videos on this channel that kind of break down how to do one-to-many types of marketing. But if you want to skip that, we tell you inside our program. Another student's name is JT, and he got 10 clients from one online forum, right? Now, when I say an online forum, I don't just say like Facebook group, because there's a million different forums. You can go on Reddit, you can go on LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, you can do, what's another version of that? Discord, there's a platform called School, right? There's a million different places where potential clients are going to spending their time. So just being able to understand how to build a brand within a mini community is a very simple way to go and get clients if you understand what you're doing, right? So it doesn't take a lot. You just have to be very smart with it. Now, you can make as much money as you want inside your business, right? You can make, generally, I've seen these businesses are really good at going from anywhere between 0 to about $25K per month. With about $25K per month, you might need to have 1 to 2 staff members underneath you. But these business models are very good at getting to that kind of income zone. They do start breaking once you get past about $500,000 per month, and that's why you don't see as many. You see a lot of people who are solopreneur, accountants and bookkeepers that are making, they might have their business up to maybe $450, $500, they're able to go and literally make $250 to about $400,000 a year. Once you start getting more of $1 million plus, that's when it gets a little bit harder for most people to kind of run. So it's generally very, very good, just consistent income. And then in a lot of cases, I view it more of a wealth path than just getting you rich, if that makes sense. If you're hoping for something where it's you get in, then you can make $1 million right away, but it might not last for 10 years. It's okay, well that's not this business. This business model is something that lasts you 10, 20, 30, 40. This can be actually a career. Your business can turn into a career, which is paying you consistently. It's building on itself. Your income is going. You're able to put a lot of money inside your retirement accounts. You can take that money, either then go and put it investments, which is growing at about 8 to about 12% per year. Sometimes more. If you're doing, I'm just talking about paper. If you're doing real estate, that can really multiply. And it's just a really good wealth builder and just a really good lifestyle type of business that I really enjoy. And yeah, that's why I'm so infatuated with telling people about the business model, because it's just something that changed my life. So I really would like to see if it could change yours as well. Now, if you want some help, I know I've been kind of talking about this throughout the video, but I just invite you to go ahead and check out my mentorship program. All the stuff we do on our channel, it's stuff we teach in our program, right? I don't like to talk about stuff that I don't know anything about, right? Because that just wouldn't be helpful for anybody. I would just be talking in circles. You wouldn't really get any benefit out of it. It just wouldn't be that good. And I also encourage you to mentorship program, because you can watch videos on YouTube and maybe you'll figure out maybe if I was just watching YouTube videos when I started out, I would not have been able to grow my business, just because it's 50% about the information that's taught in a video, but it's also 50% understanding yourself, understanding clients, handling your emotions, and being situationally prepared, so when you're actually in that situation, you don't drop the ball. So it's not just information. Like that's one misconception most beginners have. They're like, I just need to know the secret to doing it. It's like, no, it's not one secret. It's not one silver bullet. It's like a million golden BBs that you have to get right in order to like really be successful. But once you have those golden BBs, like you can never have that like knowledge taken away from you. So if you want to learn what to do and be able to skip watching hundreds, if not thousands of hours of YouTube video on how to grow your business, go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above or below the video. Book a call with myself. Let's see if we can help you inside of our mentorship program, okay? I will talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day.